the silent buildup to a super-eruption. Geologists have developed a technique that makes it now possible to estimate the maximum size of a future super-eruption of Toba volcano in Sumatra. This is this month's article from University of Geneva. It's estimated that about 5 to 10 volcanoes worldwide are capable of producing a super-eruption that could catastrophically affect our global climate. One of these volcanoes hides below the waters of Lake Toba in Sumatra. It's caused 2 super-eruptions in the last 1 million years already. 2 of them. That volcano alone. But when will the next one be? Will there be any warning signs? To answer these questions, an international team of geologists developed an analysis of the levels of uranium and lead in zircons, a mineral typically found in explosive volcanic eruptions, to determine how long it took the volcano to prepare for its super-eruptions. It's estimated that about 5 to 10 volcanoes worldwide capable of producing a super-eruption. Now, will there be warning signs? The answers to these questions: International Team Geologists, University of Geneva, Switzerland, Peking University of China, developed an analysis of the levels of uranium and lead in zircons, minerals found in explosive volcanic eruptions, to see how the volcano prepared for a super-eruption. Unfortunately, these results, published in Journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, PNAS, refute the notion that unusual geological signs would herald an imminent super-eruption. Instead, the magma silently accumulated in the magma reservoir until these massive explosions occurred. So it was a silent development. Okay? Instead, the magma silently accumulated in the magma reservoir until these massive explosions occurred. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. The Toba volcano in Sumatra caused 2 of the largest eruptions known on the Earth. The first was 840,000 years ago, the second 75,000 years ago, each measuring about 2,800 square cubic kilometers, enough to blanket the whole of Switzerland with 7 centimeters thick of ash and representing 70,000 times the amount of magma erupted to this moment by the ongoing La Palma eruption. 2 other smaller eruptions took place, one 1.4 million years ago, the other 500,000 years ago. So it was 840,000 years ago, 1.4 million years ago, 500,000 years ago, and 75,000 years ago. So in 2 million years, it had 4 eruptions. Geologists from UNIG in Peking University are interested in the Toba volcano because there is no historical record of human response to a super-eruption of the size that it produced in the past. Well, how could humans what kind of response did they? Well, anyway, going back to this. Such an event would affect the global climate and pose numerous problems, particularly in terms of food supply, not to mention the migration of populations. Toba volcano forms a caldera, meaning that previous eruptions have created a large depression that is occupied today by meteoric water, explains Luca Carici, professor at the Department of Earth Science at the UNIG Facility of Sciences and co-author of the study. At the center of the lake is an island that raised from the water because of the push of the magma injected in the subvolcano reservoir. We can see that this island is gradually increasing in height now, indicating that the volcano is active and that magma is accumulating underneath silently, says Ping Liu, professor at the Faculty of Earth and Space Sciences of Peking University, leading author of this article. But are we close to the next super-eruption? That's the question. Measuring uranium and lead in zircon, Zircon is the mineral that's found in the products of explosive volcanic eruptions. One of its characteristics is that it takes uranium within its structure, as explains Ping Liu, and over time the uranium decays into lead. So by measuring the amounts of uranium and lead in zircon with a mass superspectrometer, we can determine its age, the geologist said. The scientists determined the age of the large number of zircons extracted from the products of different eruptions. The young zircon provides information on the date of the eruption, and the older zircons reveal the history of magma accumulation preceding the super-eruptions. He said the first super-eruption occurred around 840,000 years ago after the 1.4 million years of magma input, whereas magma fed the second super-eruption at 75,000 years, accumulated only in 600,000 years. Notes Luca Carici. Why was the time of magma accumulation halved, even if the two supervolcanoes, super-eruptions, were of the same size? This is linked to the progressive increase of the temperature of the continental crust in which Toba's magma reservoir is assembled, explains Ping Liu. The input of magma has gradually heated the surrounding continental crust, which makes the magma cool slower. He says this is a vicious cycle of eruptions. The more the magma heats the crust, the slower the magma cools and the faster the rate of magma accumulation becomes, he says. The result is that super-eruptions can become more frequent in time. So in other words, what those geologists were saying, that Yellowstone has decreased or declined in activity in eruptions, this geologist here says that's not the case. The result is that super-eruptions can be more frequent in time, he says. Estimating the rate of magma accumulation to anticipate the size of the next super-eruption, the technique based on zircon geochronology can also be used to estimate the rate of magma input in a magma reservoir. He says today we estimate that about 320 cubic kilometers of magma could be ready to erupt within the reservoir Toba volcano. That's huge, says Luca Carici. If such an eruption would occur now, this would be a very catastrophic event that strongly affect not only the highly populated island of Sumatra, but also the global environment. And let's remember, they said in this article, this is just now, a couple of weeks ago this was put up, and the thing is that the island in the middle of the Toba volcano is inflating, showing that magma is building up there again. Geologists have estimated that currently about 4 cubic kilometers of eruptible magma is accumulating within Toba's magma reservoir every 1,000 years, and that at this rate was rather stable throughout the eruptive history. They said the next super-eruption of the size of the last two would therefore take place in about 600,000 years, he says. This does not rule out that smaller eruptions could occur in the meantime. This innovative method can be applied to any other volcano globally and could serve to identify which volcano is closest to a super-eruption. He said this is a great advance because with few super-eruptions in the last 2 million years, it's not possible for us to obtain statistically significant values for the frequency of these catastrophic events at a global scale, explains Ping Liu. Our study also shows that no extreme events occurred before a super-eruption. In other words, there was nothing extraordinary. It just happened. No extreme events. This suggests that the size of an impending super-eruption, such as a significant increase in earthquakes or rapid ground uplift, might not be as obvious as pictured in disaster movies by the film industry. At Toba volcano, everything is happening silently underground, and the analysis of the zircons now gives us an idea of what is to come, concludes Luca Carici. This is by the University of Geneva on Science Daily, and this is an astonishing find. It happens silent buildup with no extraordinary, Hollywood type of show going on. So please leave your comments about this. Thank you for your support.